All right.
Guess we're going now. I guess maybe we should fire up Twitch as well so we can
Good point.
see people's comments here. If anyone's tuning in.
All right. Yeah. So, what do we got today?
Well, looks like we are doing as promised over the past couple of minutes. Toronto versus Ottawa from a couple of Sundays ago. We couldn't do the game.
Yeah.
Last weekend because a lot of the team, including us, about 50 members of the Rush, were in Colombia competing with Team Canada at a tournament down in Medellin, which, if you've never been, is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. And
awesome.
I would highly recommend, if you have a chance to go there, do so because it is amazing. But so we were down there, so we didn't get a chance to do this broadcast last week, nor did we get a chance to play with the Rush in Montreal. And unfortunately, the boys went down to the Montreal guys, but they put up a good fight, brought it back. I think it was 31-27 or something in the end. So well done from the Rush boys who weren't in Colombia down with us, but. Luckily, we came back strong yesterday and
So at
took it to New York.
in Colombia, I guess quick recap: we played Australia, Colombia. We were able to beat them. We played the U.S. in the finals, and we were up 4-1. They made a big comeback. We pulled to them on Universe, and they were able to make a pretty sweet catch, just an inch off the ground to hang on and win that one. So. That was a pretty fun one. I'm looking forward to hopefully playing them again in the finals in London. We'll do that.
Yeah. But let's see. I guess we should just get into this game.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, first here we saw this. We were just loading this up and really like this intro actually.
Somebody put this together and it's pretty cool.
So I guess this goes on our jumbo scron Tron. Jumbo Scron.
Feel the rush.
We've been trying to learn some controls here, so I'm going to jump right to the beginning of the game
That's
here.
Too far.
That's too far.
Way too far.
And it's a different movie entirely. So we have not learned the controls. We have not learned the controls.
You really messed that up.
Don't look at the score. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh God, Link. What did you do?
What do I do here? Shoot. I gotta close it. I gotta open it again.
Well, unfortunately, everyone, Link is completely useless.
Okay. Now we got the game. So, what we got here? We have Ottawa versus Toronto Rush.
Let's make sure that it's still...
It is.
You sure?
Go back to our screen.
No, this isn't the screen.
And we are all set up. So,
good.
5 minutes in. In the future, maybe just wait 5 minutes to join because this is probably how it'll always go. 5 minutes in here, we have Ottawa versus Toronto Rush. So this is our second home game. We played Washington the day before, and then we played a fresh Ottawa on the Sunday. We had a decent number of fans, actually, considering that there was a game the day before.
Also, it's pretty, you can't really tell here, but the weather is not great. It's pretty rainy today, so it was pretty cool that we actually had a lot of people come out to see the game when it was not very nice weather.
You can see we got, this is a fun one for us. We have a number of GOATs on the other team. We got Derek, who starts off with a crazy push pass. We got Andy Ostroloni and Carl as well.
Carl Loiseau. So yeah, three guys who, and Carl actually played on Rush for a season before the Ottawa Outlaws franchise, started. And so it's nice to see him, and that was
nice.
A really sweet throw. Wow.
That was a very, very good point.
I don't remember that throw being that awesome. I must have not been watching at that point because that was wicked.
that looked like. That looks like this is going to be a good game. Their offense just worked it up. Derek gets open 1 second, just throws it up every single time. Smooth offense, goal.
Let's just make sure that we can see the Twitch chat as well.
Yeah.
Just so that we can, game update, 16-12, New York over Montreal. Oh, thank you. That's good to know, I guess. Okay, so it looks like they pulled it out of bounds there. See, that's actually an interesting thing I find about the ADL is that pulls are. Or was that a pull out of bounds or was that an offside? So it looked like we were right at midfield there. It might have been an offside. Either way, I find that offsides in general are interesting in the ADL in that immediately there's no warning. Very first time you get offside, the other team just gets it at midfield.
That's very harsh. But although it's also uncommon, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be offside when it's such a harsh penalty.
It's true. But yeah, I do like that because it keeps people honest. And honestly, you watch Whiff Diff or any sort of international competition, and offsides are just rampant. And I find that Team Canada is as bad for that as anybody is. But it's pretty brutal sometimes. So I actually like that they're able to penalize that pretty harshly because especially on defense, getting down on the pole and getting a mark on right away can be such a ridiculously huge advantage. So stopping those offsides is actually pretty big.
So here Ottawa did a full vert side stack, and it was kind of interesting because they sent the disc to the side of the stack, and then normally that's a clear across, and then you give that lane to someone. But they actually kind of threw it over the stack, which it was kind of interesting. It didn't work,
Yeah.
and maybe they should have cleared.
Generally, if you're going to stack everybody on one side, you're probably going to try and work it to the other side. But I don't know. Also, fun little fact about this point is that this is Mark Lloyd's first point of the whole season. Yes, nice. Totally. We were at the same time there, but yeah, this is his first point of the whole season. Got a throw in there, which was good. Nice steed there by Gord, chasing that one down.
It's interesting watching Derek on in the ADL because he doesn't play a big hucking role with Goad. He has some nice ones and he saves them, but with Ottawa he really looks to huck a lot more. And you can see right there he put one out and it was all right, and it we got the D on it, but you'll see it a lot in this game. He's looking to really put hucks.
Yeah, and there was Mark's first turnover this season, so that's good. You gotta get a couple of those in always. It's good to get him out early. But you know what? It actually, I don't know if that was really Mark's fault. Unfortunately, the help defense came from behind, but it actually was a pretty good shot. And I think Remy did have a chance at it, even though he didn't come down with it. And there's another huck from Derek, where exactly as Link was saying, that's usually how we would think. Not really his role is to be the big hucker, but in Ottawa, that's what they do.
I remember saying this to you after. It's just fun to watch Derek throw. He's just the smoothest player.
He's so good.
Even if it's a turnover, it's like that's a pretty awesome turnover. He and it's funny because on his side, he's so down on himself on this sort of stuff. And one thing he would probably hate more than anything is go over to him on a turnover and say, "Man, that was really sweet," because he'll be really upset about that. So I like to do that a lot.
I also find that Derek, even aside from how awesome he is as a thrower, he's an amazing faker. His fakes are so good. They're so deadly, and they're so quick. And I find that it gets people moving so quickly, and it's really hard to defend him because of that. Oh, sick D there. Like Izzy might have been able to attack that a little harder, but it might have been a little bit behind him. So that was a nice D.
So what's their D running? Their D is running vertical stack. They send one out, and then they come in just on the open side, and then let a huck go. Pretty classic, I guess, D-line offense.
Yeah, and they really should have scored there. It's too bad that he wasn't able to run that down, but we weren't playing that great defense there. And did the Rush ever try to have Derek on the
It's gotta
team.
fit on the team.
Absolutely. I mean, I think bribes were given, threats were made, and unfortunately, he never actually ended up coming down and joining us. But sweet catch there by Steve Armitage there.
I think the
that was the worst kick spike I've ever seen. Let me just say that, but that was a good catch.
I think one of the things about the AUDL is people like it's so cool that you can play in front of your friends and family, and so to join a team when you have Ottawa in your hometown, as your hometown, it's tough. It's a big thing, and he's got a couple kids, and then like it's a pretty big thing.
Definitely.
So sure, I mean we'll get him eventually, right?
Yeah, let's be real. But and then the one year that Carl was playing on the Rush, I think Derek had taken a little bit of step back from Ultimate in general on that year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so I don't think he wanted to commit to kind of doing double duty with the Rush and playing GOAT as well. But he's able to do it in Ottawa because there's not that much travel involved. Half the games are at home, which is great.
So after most of the Ottawa games though, I send Derek a little message, so they got really beat their first game in Washington. The next day, I sent him a little message, and I'm just like, "Hey man, so what do you think? Maybe you want to make a switch or something like that?" And, so I think that's a pretty good strategy, and I think that will get him soon.
One day, you never know. So you can see we're mostly
nice upline.
Yeah, we're mostly
obviously a travel there, but.
Yeah, I mean as you can see, we're mostly forcing flick here, but in the rain, especially, I think straight up is a little bit of a.
I like this one because the cameraman was very on top of this.
Yeah,
he didn't even follow. The huck went up, and he's like, "Nope, that's not. That's not happening. Not even gonna follow it." We got a smart cameraman or woman. I don't know.
I don't know who that is. Who does the camera? Oh. See, that's a big thing actually that came a lot in this past game against New York, which we'll broadcast next week. But even right there, following the play on those is so huge. And against DC, again, we had only one where it really happened, where I was able to get one. But that's actually a huge thing.
Oh yeah,
that I
forgot about that. Nice one.
Thanks. But look at
this.
Okay.
This is what we got.
Let's
going.
take a moment here.
What this is? We had Star Wars Day because it was May the
1st. Well, May the 1st.
But it was May the 1st, and so here we go. What's the name of Han Solo's ship?
This is going to be a tough question here. So,
maybe if the movies didn't come out just so recently. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
you answered this.
Nice, nailed it. It's a tough one, but you got it.
What?
Well, you win.
Well, there's a lot more than just one. You gotta get them all right throughout
the whole series.
Throughout the.
No, see, that's a common mistake. It actually was the Millennium Falcon, but nobody knows that. Right?
So here we go, Andy O. Actually, if I remember this might have been Mark Lloyd's first D of the season.
Boom! Huge play there by Mark. And also great D in the end zone before that, allowing Mark to get back for that D because it's so easy in that situation to let a guy just blow right by you and get an easy score when they're right outside. But everybody was on the ball there and was right on the guys and made Andy have to throw that tight throw there to let Mark get it.
All right, let's look at what their D offense, or this would be their O actually. Big swing around to Keelan. Doesn't look like it looks like they're really late, so that's a big thing. They're really late for that continue around for Keelan, so they got a really late one. You can see here their whole break side is just clogged. I don't know if you're noticing that, but every time a person gets a disc, there's a couple people in the break side, which makes it so that throw right there to Andy is very late.
And you can understand why they're all clogging the break side is because it looks like that's all they want to do is throw breaks. When they throw back to the middle, they're not looking to continue to the open side. They're looking to get it right back to that break side and attack. And obviously it worked out there with that hammer, but it was looking a little bit dicey for a second.
And that's a good point. I think that's one of the bigger things to really capitalize on the break side is to realize, say a person has a disc in a good spot to throw it to the break side. If you're in that spot right then, you're probably not in a good position, and you should probably clear so someone can come in for way more yards.
Absolutely.
And if we can see some of that later, I'll point it out because that's actually a big.
And the clear cut from the break side to the open side is deadly because the guy has to follow you. He can't just let you go over to the open side because then you just get the disc easily on the open side. So clearing from the break side to the open side is always a good idea because they have to follow you. See, now that was an interesting one because that guy just clobbered Steve Armitage. And, I kind of looked at him and I was like, hey, dude, like, you really hammered the guy. And, he looked back at me and he was like, well, don't throw up crap then. I'm like,
well, but then they did.
And I'm like, I get that, but don't you think that it sucks that you just absolutely demolished a dude? Like, I feel like that's kind of an issue there.
Plus, like, that's a funny thing to say because, like, obviously you're not trying to throw a bad throw.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the punishment of throwing a bad throw is like
injury, man. I'm going to injure your guy then. I mean, that's on you.
So we just hucked it, so that's good. Let's try to look at what their next controversy. How do you explain that an old guy like Andy O is playing in a pro league?
Have you been watching this game at all? Andy O has been roasting guys. I mean, Andy O is an unbelievable player, and he's incredibly fit. He's tall. He's strong, and he has awesome throws. I don't think age is really a factor. It's whether or not you can still play, and if you can still hack it, then you should be playing no matter what. And Andy O certainly can.
All right, Simmons with the disc here. I like about Simmons is aggressive throws to resets as he looks to dump it 20 yards back to Gord.
That's good though. Good fakes. Get those arms flailing. Make sure that one of them hits one of the defenders.
So this is what they're doing here. They did a lot of double teams, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of double teaming when the person you leave open is the reset. Because you're going to, in 7 seconds, you're going to be able to throw it to that person.
Absolutely. And, it does work out sometimes when you just can somehow force a guy to drop it like that. But I agree. Having an easy reset is devastating in the ADL, I find. So, I don't know. We don't really use double teams all that often or all that well when we do, I think.
I think we often do it off the reset.
Yeah.
Which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, what do we have here?
I think the pro game is easier for older guys since they don't have to play multiple games on one day. I think the pro game is easier for anybody because of that exact same reason. Just injuries, wear and tear. Young guys get injured just the same as old guys get injured.
All right, what do we have here? We seem to have, split stack. So they defended that really well, and then Adrian just put up a huck that should get D'd, and it is D'd. But that was good defense for them. They really covered both of the unders on the one side, and we were really slow to react out of the 3 side when that wasn't.
Definitely. I was pretty pissed because I looked over to the left, thinking, okay, great, no problem.
Yeah,
these guys got me, but they didn't. So, and to be honest, throwing up Huck and Hope to Justin Ford and Isaiah Mazzucchelli is, usually not the worst bet, but obviously they couldn't come down with it that time, unfortunately.
So we're doing a good job clearing out a lot of space for the handlers.
And
so there you go again. So Adrian just cleared there, and that left. I guess I cut into Army's spot, but that left a lot for Army. I'm able to just throw it out to the break. Pretty simple. And then a huge rip from the break side to Thompson.
Just our classic deep striker, Thompson McKnight here. And this is actually not the worst foul, I think, to foul somebody on the goal line like that because, it usually takes a little bit of time. Obviously, we get it in the middle of the field, but takes a little bit of time for everyone to get set up, and at least you can get a defense set when everyone is sprinting down the field. It's so hard to recover and pick up guys like that. So
Yeah, but it's illegal to do that. You'd be cheating.
yeah, you'd be cheating, but I'm just saying it. I don't think it's the worst foul.
All right, let's see what they're vertical flood stack. They send one into the lane. They really tried to isolate him, and then they did a good job of timing with the help and then coming under, and he dropped it.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty good play, although it looked like our defense was good too because we shut down the guy right in the lane.
And unfortunately, it looked like Jerry might have looked off a couple of fairly open throws there before eventually giving it right back to them. But, such is life. Hopefully we'll get this back. Hold on, let me just take a look at this. Trash talk. Keelan Way was supposed to be the successor to Mike Grant.
Nice hammer, Derek.
But he never really achieved that. How do you explain that he never lived up to the expectations? Well, I can't comment specifically to that because I'm not aware of those expectations. But I don't know. You can never really take into account how people are going to pan out when people think about what kind of player somebody is right now and what kind of player they're going to be. There's all kinds of things that happen in people's lives that affect the way that they continue to play the game. People have other stuff going on in their lives, and they can't, commit 100% of their time to Ultimate. And I'm not necessarily saying that Keelan didn't commit 100% of his time to playing Ultimate, but you never know unless you actually know the guy. So
certainly never heard that.
Yeah,
that initial thought. Mike Grant's
Mike Grant is
a huge, big dude. His throws are unbelievable. His fakes are huge.
Yeah. I don't know. But that there was a pretty on the money huck there from Trevor Henry right down the line to a streaking Armitage.
We call Trevor Gunslinger because of the way. Let's look at his huck here.
Yeah.
Look at his form. He's got some of the more interesting forms. So we got a vertical here. Clear out Sachin. Adea comes in the back. Trevor comes and gets a disc. Look at the way his form is. He just puts his looks just like a regular throw there. But he just holds his hand out and then just throws a flick. And he's able to get it so pinpoint and so far with almost no arm motion, which is...
Definitely. And also, I just want to see what just happened there as Trevor gets this disc, is that his guy actually made a decent play at the disc and, had maybe a shot at it. But because he didn't, and this is the danger of taking those shots and taking those risks, is that he lays out right past him, and all of a sudden he's 5 yards behind him, and Trevor has all the freedom to wind up and throw just a perfect throw right down the line. That's one thing that we, especially this year, we've really tried to focus on our marks and eliminating those things where every throw is challenged no matter what. We're not trying not to let guys get those open throws, because when you get a throw like that with no mark in sight, nothing stopping you from having a perfect wind up and everything at it, you can just throw it so perfectly. So that's a tough one.
Does Rush have any plans to help build the rookies, Sparkles, McKenzie, and JJ? They're kind of built, right? But you didn't go to the game yesterday because JJ actually got player of the game yesterday.
Yeah, JJ was unreal yesterday.
We had a game in Montreal where they got a lot of play time, which is big. I actually think just a season, and I'm not saying this is a plan or anything like that, but just a season of practicing at a high level, at the highest level, is a huge building thing.
Definitely. Being able to, because we practice the way that we play, and being able to practice and play regularly twice a week against some of the guys that we have on our team is an amazing way to develop and to
Here's where Neff catches it. Doesn't walk it up.
Ellis is coming down, but timeout by Shooter just in time. Chalk that up to another one. Timeouts saved. Well played there, Shooter. Turnovers saved.
And that's big because there's 17 seconds left.
Yeah,
so they're on the end of the line.
Correctly.
It didn't yet. Maybe a goal wasn't.
But
they don't score, do they?
No,
Who knows?
They don't. But still, there's a huge Huge play there by Shooter coming in with a clutch timeout call.
I wish that Will walked it up.
Yeah, everybody does. But, ifs and buts, what can be in Mets. Oh, just bounced right off his hand there.
So they got 5 seconds left here. I remember a bit of a controversial play here, so let's see. Oh, now they call the timeout.
They call the timeout now.
They shouldn't have. Timeouts on the end zone line. Don't do it.
Oh, we got another question here. Which rookie on the rush do you think has the potential to be a superstar? That's a good question. It's tough to say. I mean, it's hard to identify who will be a superstar before guys. Like, I think all it takes is one season of somebody just going off for somebody to become a superstar. And you really just never know how that's going to happen. And a lot of the time I find that it comes with people who are big physical specimens. And, we don't really have any guys on our team who are like a huge physical beast right now. But who knows? Because when it's not like an obvious thing, like you're going to become a next LeBron James who can just bully people around, then, as I said, it really can just take one season of really great decision making and high skill plays, and a guy is a superstar.
All right, so there's some controversy. Let's look at this play. So Derek threw it to Carl here. Justin came off to the back. If I see this frame, thinking D, and then there's a lot of contact.
And now what I would say is in the AUDL,
so there was no call on this.
In the AUDL, I think that is not a foul because they're both going to the same place at the exact same time, and they bashed into each other and had a lot of contact. Now, if we were playing in international play, with diff, that would definitely be a foul.
What about club? You're saying?
In club, I'm sure that when you're handling your own fouls, in club, I'm pretty sure you would have called a foul as well in the USAU. But I just know that in whiff diff, the rules are way more black and white in that if you cannot make a play on the disc without making contact with the other player, it is 100% a foul. Whereas I think in USAU, there's a little bit more gray area to interpret how contact is treated.
So this is something, if you look at we got a vertical stack. We have Sachin getting the pull, throwing it up to Thompson. This is something that Revolver started doing against GOAT last year in the U.S. Open in the finals. Specifically this, they'd throw the double team. So here you can obviously put more of a double team. They wouldn't, in club, it's not as aggressive a double team because of the rules. But since then, we've had a number of teams do this against us. So they actually did this a lot in this. So you see here, Sachin is uncovered on the open side. We got a double team. So our play is pretty much shot. And you'll see this all a lot in this game. So I think something Sachin has to do is to go very wide and to go into a very aggressive position so that he's able to get the disc in an aggressive position, which hurts them.
Now, I wish we could have figured out how to get this draw tool going. But I think an ideal place for Sachin to go, you see how he's back there just in front of the 10-yard line, right on the 11-yard line. If he comes up down to about the 30 and cuts towards the 30-yard line at the right around the middle of the screen, I think that's a very aggressive place. It's very difficult for this guy to maintain this double team and allow Sachin to go there. So he really has to leave and cover Sachin, and that opens up the break.
And you can see what they're doing is they're doubling to make sure we cannot throw a break. They're not. You could do that where you have one person on the break and one person on the open, but they are so aggressive not allowing a break. And Sachin did, he got it and flipped it up. But I think it was kind of success Ottawa there.
Yep, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think, nice try there by Scotty Westwell. Notes the guy.
And then it looked like our offense was running better than their defense there. And
pretty surgical.
Nothing too fancy there, just cutters getting open on the open side, it looked like. All right, pulls up from Neff. Another flood stack up to Derek.
Yeah, they definitely ran a lot of flood stack this game.
They run their handler up for a quick one.
They haven't done flood one time, which is interesting.
And then they isolate. It looks like they're flooding and isolating into the lanes. It's funny because like I'm sure our defense, if they're watching this, is like, yeah, we know that's what they do. But like when I'm not on, I know I'm just cheering. I'm not looking at the strategy as much.
And so that what just happened there. So you can see Andy O made a huge huck. I don't know how it was going to work out, but Rusty in Gold Simmons jumps up and gets the big block on the huck. And I remember Jeff and I on the sidelines sitting there saying, oh, you know, there was something really unsatisfying about what just happened there, watching our boy Andy get blocked by Rusty. But then immediately afterwards, Rusty throws the throw right through the middle, and Derek snags it right back from him. And I remember us thinking, I'm kind of happy about it. It's kind of a funny moment back. Trash talk.
I like that you
trash talk.
I like that you let us know when it's trash talk.
Who's better now, Carl
His brother, I think.
Or Laurent?
Yeah.
Or Carl's brother?
Carl's brother.
Oh, I've never known Carl's brother.
I actually had Carl's brother play defense on me in this game, and it was good defense.
Huh.
So, Carl is my answer.
Didn't even know Carl.
But Carl's brother, I think, is very athletic, and I mean, Carl uses a lot of wiliness and skill, and I think if his brother catches up, it could be good.
See, there you go. So, you know, we're talking about whether or not it's ridiculous that Andy O is on this team or in the pro leagues in general, and then you watch Andy O just take Justin Ford, who is one of the more athletic guys that we have on our team. You watch him take him deep there, and there's your answer. And, nice little score there by Ottawa. So, I mean, traditionally, or historically, I guess I should say, we've been able to handle Ottawa pretty well in our games against them over the past couple of years. But they're doing a great job here. They're really keeping it close. This first quarter has been, or the first half in general, has been pretty back and forth. Their offense has been clicking really well, and
so there they go again. They went on Sachin for a second and then double teamed him again. And again, backyards. You can see our stack didn't do a great job of adjusting, although Adrian was able to get open on the break side. But then we are able to go one. You can see that when we threaten the deep, they're scared of it, rightfully, and we're able to go under there. How many games will Justin play? He's actually going to move here after Worlds, so for 6 weeks or so. So, a number of games.
Well, only 3 home season or regular season games.
Yeah, so not many games.
And then 1 playoff game, hopefully, and then maybe, hopefully, semis and finals. There's room for older players. How come Hassel is not playing?
I like the suggestion here that we cut him.
We were like, no,
I like the
Hassel,
suggestion that Hassel was like a guy that really want to play, and we're like, no, you're actually too old. You can't play.
There is a John Hassel Rush jersey that hangs up in the locker room every game, and
we actually,
he wants to come put it on. He's welcome to, but he just hasn't yet. So.
That's not a joke. There was one made just in case we were able to get him to play, and he actually had hip surgery, like last year or so. And he had a hip injury that really is the reason that he stopped playing open more than anything, and he had a surgery for it. But he's going to play with Team Canada Masters this year. So.
And if you watched Canadian Nationals last year and saw the Team Canada or saw the Toronto Masters team play, he's still pretty sick.
No. Okay, let's watch this. This is one of the funniest Ds that I've ever seen. Look at Remy here. So he knows the only thing he's trying to do now is get a stat. He knows there's no one there. So he slides on his knees. I've never seen a better form for getting a D than right here.
Awesome. Gives us all on the sidelines a little tongue.
Then
Get out. That was awesome.
So that's good. Getting it right off the line. A nice swing
Nice
over to
throw
Remy
by Gord.
from Gord. Remy loves that throw. He's getting very good at it around. And then, boom, 1, 2, 3. Doesn't look like that was the best defense from Ottawa. It felt like they let us off the line a bit too easily, and then our guys were a bit too open. Oh, next Star Wars trivia.
Here we go.
What is the power that binds the galaxy together?
Now this could be a trick question.
It is not a trick question.
Yearwood said once on RSD that
if you lose a
if
foot
he
race,
would lose a foot race, he would retire. Yeah, I stand by that. I mean, he just had hip surgery. I should hope I wouldn't lose a foot race against him. He is pretty sick, though. Oh, Carol. Oh, that's such a tough one. Those ones that just float up in the air and there's a big pack of people. So this is some.
nice. Left.
No, it was just an inside throw. I find Derek is one of the best players out there in end zone situations. Just how many release points and tricky little throws the guy's got is just so deadly. What?
How many?
I couldn't even tell you. Innumerable. It's just he can throw it from anywhere to anywhere, and it makes the defense have to bite so hard on all kinds of things. So it's really tough.
So here we got again. So Sach, if you're watching this, you got to get in a better spot. I think.
Figure it out, Sach.
Although they're doing it where they don't show it right away, so maybe that's why Sachin's hesitant to get up there. But nice up the line. This is where I think we should break the force. We should switch to the other side. But Sachin gets open. Goal.
Really, and I didn't realize that Mark's. Well, no, I kind of saw him, but Mark's guy, after Mark had cut over to that side, he kind of hung around there a little bit. And had he committed more to hanging around and poaching in that area, he might have been able to get a D. But I guess he was still a little bit worried about Mark coming onto the other side, as he probably should be. But
so there, we push him quite back there, which is good, and then.
They actually did a fairly good job switching the field, though, which is something that we were talking about today that they hadn't been doing very well, is going back to the break side, but they went all the way over to the open side there. And just a lot of open side throws there, unfortunately. And
here we go, vertical from us here. Same thing. I think we were a bit late here. That must have been like 9 or 10
Wait,
stalls.
let's actually go back and see how many stalls that was, because they were pretty pissed about how many.
So here's the thing. They haven't started yet stalling. So now I'd say at 50.
9.
Oh, so, I don't know. It said 44.
I guess.
That might be all right.
Might have been out.
It's one of those ones where it feels, because in that situation, he had the disc for 2 or 3 before the stall went on.
Yeah.
But that makes it feel, it's hard to know that. So you feel like he held it for 10 seconds, which he did, but the first few of those was unstalled. So Ottawa, I think you were wrong on that one. I think that was good reffing.
Yeah. We will accept an apology for your indignation anytime. Feel free to comment in the comments if you're watching, which I imagine you probably aren't. Like, come on. Like, what kind of...
I like it.
That was awesome. No, I mean, it's awesome. It's ridiculous.
I didn't like that. It was like that throw to like not gain any yards and go back. And here the double team on the sideline. So let's see. This is how you. Let's look at where this double team formed. So this is perfect. We have guys on their cutters. On their handlers. So you see, we have 2 people covering 3 people in the middle there, which is fine. That's not so bad. There's not an easy throw in that situation. And we got their handler with a full mark. I think that's the proper way to double team.
Absolutely. Double teaming in the middle of the field. doesn't really stop all that much, or it's really difficult to stop a lot. Double teaming in the middle of the field without we're not sure what's happening here. It might have been a pick or something like that.
Looks like a pick. And I think that comes from not. I think we needed to do a better job of
no, timeout.
Breaking around. Oh, timeout. Nice one, shooter.
Good job.
That puts us on the field. That's what I like about that the most.
Yep.
And I hate it when there's a timeout and we're on the field.
Because
it most likely means we're coming off. We don't need to watch this timeout.
I think it would be cool in the future if we could have the timeouts mic'd up. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think it would be cool in the future if we could have the timeouts mic'd up. Yeah, I think that'd be cool if we, in general, just mic up the coaches and see what they say during the game, because I don't know, it might be something interesting to hear about. On Reddit, an ADL ref mentioned that there are lots of players crying and whining at the refs during semi-pro games. 1, do you do it? 2, do you think it's a problem? Yes, I absolutely think it's a problem. I think a real problem is people calling for calls. When people think that something has happened, they think they've gotten fouled, they think something has happened, and they whine looking for a call.
I appreciate it on this one. Mark really tried to jump in, give me an assist, but
he couldn't do it.
Just a bit short,
But yeah, that really drives me crazy. Is when people think they get bumped and they throw up their hands and they turn around and they look at the refs. I can't stand that. I couldn't never stand that in soccer, and I can't stand it in Ultimate. As far as people crying and whining at the refs when they make calls and that they don't agree with, that's just going to happen. People aren't going to agree with stuff, and you can't fault people for disagreeing with the refs and being vocal about it. In any sport, everybody's yelling at the refs always, so I don't think that's that big of a deal. So now we have returned the favor and started double teaming Derek in the middle. And
we didn't want him to put any more of those hucks out.
Yeah, which I guess is what that's all about. And we actually did a decent job. Or his reset did a, not the greatest thing there by just staying directly behind him rather than coming over to the side and trying to get some yards.
I'm almost thinking from watching this that why not, if they're doing a vertical especially, why not try a double team on the first and just see where that reset goes? If they are satisfied to dump it back to that reset, do that every time until they do something better. That was interesting.
I remember that one. That was funny.
I think, you know what? I think you should have maybe a third handler back if they're going to do that to make sure.
Bring somebody else? Well, I just think in general you need to get to the sideline. You need to get aggressive and get yards. Saying back 10 yards doesn't mean anything because you throw it back 10 yards and realistically speaking, the double team can just come and double team the guy straight backwards. They don't really have to do much work. But
the thing about where Sachin is he just threw the disc up to the guy. So if they were right on it, he has to be back there. That's where he threw the disc. So it's going to take him a bit of time to really run to a better spot.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened here, but
no, it's true. But I think if you really aggressively, you center that pull and then aggressively just sprint upfield, the guy really has to at least respect, if not that time, the next time, that, okay, I got burned up the field there. I got to do something different next time.
That's Bretonnet, was it?
Yeah.
Nice catch by Mark. So I think, we got to be clear in that break side a little bit. But there we go. That's good. And then an easy around, really good. That's great. And hopefully we set it up for a hand block. And we did. Martinez was fuming about this because he got hand blocked, and it's not fun getting hand blocked. I think
it's not.
I don't know.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It happened to me against DC, and I was pissed. Receiver travel. See, okay, we had an interesting one. this game, or last game, I guess, when a guy set a pivot foot and then in the end zone and then started walking up when somebody told him that he could walk up to check the
Yeah, but
disc
it was
at
our
the front.
player that told him.
Totally.
Oh, okay.
But then it was a turnover trouble. But this guy set a pivot foot now on the sideline, and during the course of his, pivots and fakes, ended up a foot off the sideline, and that became a receiver travel, and he simply had to go 10 yards back. So I don't really know what the proper rule is there.
So it depends. If he never set his foot on the line, then it would be a receiver travel. But if he set it and then over the course of the seconds, like you're saying, went off it, that should be a thrower travel.
Right.
But I think the call there, and maybe it was wrong, is that he never set it on the sideline.
Faking for 2 seconds before the call came. You would think that the call would come right away. But, you give the guy 2 seconds to look upfield and then make the travel call. Maybe he just didn't notice. I don't know.
So we got another end zone. So here we got a double team. Right on the end zone and just a little scooper across. I wonder if that was a bit of complacency, seeing a double team on the mark, thinking...
Yeah, there's no way that scooper can come over now.
And then it just did.
Oh, go back.
I think that it's worth doing this one in slow motion here. How can I go? I'm going to go to playback here on the slowest playback. And we're going to watch Sachin. Sachin has sometimes described his role on the team as catching the disc and throwing it to Thompson.
Yeah.
That's his own description at times of his role. So we're going to watch him do that right now.
Oh.
So this is great. This is where he's like, oh, I settled. Oh, no. And then face first onto the ground.
Wait, go back. Let's do it.
You want to watch that again?
Okay, so here it comes.
Just a classic.
Let's see how many
points.
How many times
okay, I see Thompson there. I'm going to throw it to him.
One. 2, 3, 4, and almost 5.
I mean, he really put his body into trying to catch that.
He tried so hard. That was fantastic. We'll come back and we'll watch that again later. Let's remember that was 120. 55. Okay, good. And, dropping a pull is devastating.
This is the same situation. They might score this, but let's look at... shoot. I didn't go back. I noticed they got the disc to the middle, and he didn't even look to swing it around.
Yeah.
And they were able to score, and they did actually swing it around finally, but when you get that disc off the side, I see the disc in the air to me, and then I completely panicked. I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to throw right now.
And you actually did have, like, a couple seconds to look,
Yeah, I had more there.
I thought at the time that you had less,
I want to look at this. I was getting flack that the other side of the field, everyone was wide open. And I'm not saying they weren't, but I don't see the lane that I have to. There's a guy right into the flick lane there, so I could go over.
You really have to throw a backhand around over the
last one because there's only a few seconds left, and then I look back and I see the disc in the air to me, and then I completely panicked. I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta throw right now.
And you actually did have like a couple seconds to look,
Yeah, I had more there.
I thought at the time that you had less,
I want to look at this. I was getting flack that the other side of the field, everyone was wide open. And I'm not saying they weren't, but I don't see the lane that I have to. There's a guy right into the flick lane there, so I could go over.
You really have to throw a backhand around over the mark.
But I don't know.
But there
are guys there. Yeah. They're not nearly as open as I was getting told.
Yeah,
they're open. So I think I had 2 turnovers this game, and I think they're both end of quarter possessions.
Sucks.
All right.
So
that's half.
13-10. That's a pretty good half.
Some noise.
I think from Ottawa there. They really they were, as I said before, they were really clicking on O, even though they had maybe a couple problems with the resets when we did decide to double team them. Their hucks were pretty on point. They were breaking the mark pretty well, and they kept it pretty close this half. And now we start off on D as we said in the last broadcast, as we like to do.
I don't like. I mean, I personally like being on the field right in the playoffs. So
Yeah, that's true. But then we get to start off the fourth quarter.
it's awesome. I love that.
That's the best.
I love that.
Exactly. Now, why did he catch that? No one will ever know.
So yeah, double team again, and Derek did a nice move there. So here they're doing well. They cleared out the break side and they're there.
So now this has got to come all the way over again. Good work.
That's not bad. This is a pretty good point for them right now. And then, yeah, see, we can call it. Oh, and then Justin with style.
Yeah.
Slips there, pretends as if he was just on the beach.
He's on the
just
beach,
trying to lie there.
wearing lime green compression shorts, as we all do.
That's probably legit.
He would.
So vertical stack here again.
I think we ran almost 60. I don't think we ran a horizontal stack even once this whole game. Or we haven't so far, at least. We've all been vertical and only a couple split.
We've done a few split, yeah. So here we go. I like that. Sachin goes up into an aggressive position, but then now, because of it, they don't throw that same double team.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can't, right? I mean, if Sachin's up there.
But it does stop our break lane, though, so it's actually not so bad. Ooh, I almost pulled a Sachin there.
Nice throw there.
Yeah, just break the mark.
Real nice throw.
Trevor's probably going to put a dime.
So I just slung it right in there. Classic gunslinger. And I was really hoping for another Star Wars question there, but looks like they just wanted to put their rush overlay instead. Advertise the New York game. So,
which you can catch yesterday. It was a good one.
It was pretty good. You know, that was a really weird read there. I don't know what happened.
Funny, I don't feel like they need to be putting these hucks out. I feel like they're not using the break side as much as they could, and instead they're resorting to hucks. But maybe our D's a lot better than I'm thinking.
Just nice cut in there by Greg Ellis. Greg Ellis is a guy who I find is really good at after people's, they'll get the disc, they'll look at the first option, and somebody streaking down, and that'll be blocked, and then all of a sudden Greg Ellis, I find, is just like coming in wide open from nowhere. It's crazy. Yeah, he did that really well for us last year at USAU Nationals on GOAT, and he does it really well on the rush as well.
I think there's other names for it, but I call that position the late reset.
Yeah.
To know that, and it can be a role to know that when the count gets quite high, to know a particular person, it's their role to make sure the disc doesn't get turned over. And so they kind of have a bit of freedom to come maybe near the handler spot. The team that has done this historically, is basically any team Bo's on, I think.
Yeah.
Where if a count gets pretty high, they just clear out because Bo's being backed and he just goes under and gets it. Not everyone has the luxury of just being backed to the point that Bo does, but the position is sort of it's an interesting one.
And I think that helped them out so much because we were talking about it earlier. Having a free reset, especially in the ABL, but in USAU, if anything, having just a free reset to be able to reset the count is devastating. You work so hard on defense. You know that the stall count is getting high. You're up at 8, 9, and then they can just get a free reset. It can really be demoralizing as a downfield defender.
Oh, Breton.
It's
too bad. It's like something.
Now I think there was a pick and an injury a couple of seconds prior to that throw, so Breton gets a free pass on a drop there.
Except we all watched it, and I didn't forget.
We're not going to let him by.
I like that flip when you get that in cut and you're facing, the wrong end zone. Flipping it up to someone who has good vision is a very good thing to do.
Definitely.
I think that sort of vision is underrated. Like the fact that you could see what was going on for a second or two, and someone else doesn't have that.
Yeah, and there was a kind of another when Mark put up that big huck was another one where he caught the disc coming up, had the vision, and the defender knew he had the vision, so he put a big backhand fake in. The guy flew over to that side to stop that backhand, and Mark was able to just easily and with very little pressure throw up his bread and butter. Huge flick huck, and Martinez just runs it down, no problem.
So another flood stack. I guess my problem with the flood stack from them is it really a flood stack and an isolation. You're really counting on beating your man consistently.
There's a couple of one-on-one matchups that you.
And I gotta say that to me goes in the favor of the rush. Yep. Our defense is very strong and aggressive man to man.
Definitely.
And they got guys like Derek who and Carl. The way they play is very hard to stop. But no, they should. I think they should continue to do. Okay.
Oh yeah.
This is the second time.
Classic Gord.
Let's look at this one for Gord. This is fun. So Gord, actually, you know what? I often give people flack for throwing that up when they had options, but. He kind of has this one to Simmons, but it's an awkward throw there, and you got Derek coming.
Is playing really good.
It could have gone, but I don't fault him for not putting it up.
Yeah.
And then where's the moment that he just says, "I'm gonna just do this,"
and then he just kind of senses and he says, "Oh yeah, perfect." Justin is just sitting in the back of the end zone. Just skyhooked this to him.
Who is the shorter guy on rush? It's hard to answer that.
You mean the shortest guy on rush? Because there are plenty of guys that are shorter than other guys. So I can't imagine who you might be talking about there. But if you're saying the shortest guy on rush, probably would be Jay Borchuk, no?
Yeah. I think it would be Jay. So Jay's a he came from, I think, long distance running or some sort of track because when we do endurance sprints, full fields back and forth a few times, Jay is sometimes so far ahead of the whole team, like a ridiculous amount ahead.
It's crazy. And so that's what he does. He's there to just run guys, and he does that consistently and really, really well. To be able to continue pumping your legs, especially late in some of these points. You'll have these points that go 3-4 minutes, and by the end everyone is just dogging it. And how useful is it to have a guy like that who 4 minutes into a point is running just as fast as he was 20 seconds into a point? It's huge.
Nathan is short. Yeah, Nathan might be.
Nathan's also
there.
really short. Yeah, I
think he is a bit taller than Jay, but I'm not sure. Nathan is very fast. His there's advantages. Unlike maybe like other sports, but there are definitely advantages to being short and quick.
Yeah.
That especially on offense, you're really able to take advantage of.
Definitely.
I think of Zipperstein years ago.
Totally. When you have that center of gravity that's so low, you can just change directions so quickly and stop on a dime. And that's one thing. Nathan around the end zone specifically is deadly. I mean, he has got great throws too, and he's great anywhere on the field, but he scores so many points around the end zone because he's so difficult to stay with over 5-10 yards.
So how come we keep putting these double teams out and Derek is able to just throw this? Oh, well, actually, you can answer this one, Adrian. It looks like you're the one on the mark. And maybe, you know what, so there is a difference in, I noticed, I am going to go back one more and pause it.
We're going to stop these hucks, I think, right now.
When Ottawa did this, they had two people on the break side to really shut down the break. I actually think that's not a bad strategy. So here you can see we have someone on the break side and the open side to basically say you have to go backwards. But what that allows us is, what allows them is they do have the break around look. So maybe we should look at that. Maybe we should consider doing the double on the break side.
Yeah.
Because I think they got a good look out of that. Derek, too much touch, Derek. Just put your whole weight into that, throw it out to the end zone,
Yeah.
and let your guys run and get it.
Will Neff says no.
He did look good throwing it, though. I don't know what to say.
I thought it was going to be awesome. In the middle, back to Will there.
I like giving Derek throwing advice.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing it very long, so.
Actually, what I just saw here from Trevor is awesome. So here's what Trevor did when he got the disc. He catches the disc. He's set up. Look at his feet. He's set up to throw forward. He realizes that's not there. He actually really liked that as well. He steps forward. So what that gives him is an IO flick lane that from there. Then when he realizes that's gone, he actually completely squares up to the other side of the field. And now you can see he's actually got a backhand around because his guy's very tight, and he's able to, get that throw around. So that's actually completely textbook in my opinion, where you square up for your upfield throw, you put that front foot forward to look for the IO lane, and then you fully square up for the dump. And there you go. He's able to put an easy backhand around. If you have trouble on the sideline, I wanted to continue my point. I'll pause it.
Sachin, take note.
If you have trouble on the sideline, consider that square up, step forward for the inside, and then fully square up to the horizontal field to put the dump out.
Yes.
Now that that's done, let's watch Will Neff. Probably.
Hold on. Actually, go back a couple seconds here. Watch as he's cutting out here, as he points and says, "Throw it out here."
Hey, Adrian.
And I say, okay.
That's pretty funny. My momentum's bringing me this way.
That's what you want, man.
So Adrian does. So of course he has to. And because he's not using his arms for momentum, he's using his arms to point. He's not able to get there in time. Then it goes off his hand, but like he should have caught it. But what crazy presence to, as that disc is going down,
just
try to just hit it up a bit. That guy's given up on it, and then boom. Oh, okay. One last thing here. Sorry, but this is funny to me. Let's now look at Jackie at the very bottom of the field, number 15. Let's just watch Jackie's reaction to this.
Jackie is pumped. That's great. And then
it's an easy goal. I mean, those sort of plays always turn into easy goals, I find.
They either lead to easy goals or insane throws by the person who just caught it, because they are playing with house money at that point, and it really doesn't matter. And they stand up thinking, I can do anything right now. And but luckily, Will Neff, a lot of experience, and doesn't.
The whole bench exploded on that Neff catch. Yeah, I bet you it did.
But we could only see Jackie.
Jackie just, I don't know, it reminded me like a video game, something. I don't know why, but.
That was great. That was good D by Jackie there. See, sometimes you just got to be there. You don't actually have to get a hand on the D. As long as you're there and you're going up for it, it forces the guy on offense to.
But you don't get a stat for that.
You don't get it on the stats.
Yeah.
And
so, I don't know.
Chicks dig stats. So sorry, Jackie, but nice little inside break there by Brett McCann.
He's actually quite a well-rounded player.
Yeah,
his throws are good. Big put out. That's good.
Mark. Is that his first goal? I think that might have been his first goal of the season. In 2 seasons now.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he had scored anything. He threw one, but.
All right, so Derek was the disc.
So we've abandoned the double team strategy here, because it really didn't work that well last time.
And now they.
But I guess we're double teaming down the field and causing picks, so.
That doesn't make sense. We're on defense.
Yeah,
and they went up.
So what happened there? Foul down the field?
Must have been. Oh, I think it was actually. That's good. Give and goes. Look at that. Look at Derek. Boom, boom. I love that. I love the ability to put a big fake and then turn that right into a throw.
Yeah. It's huge.
with the same footwork. There, Andy's doing the same we talked about, squaring up fully on the other side of the field. I love it. And then Derek just put out some hucks.
Questionable decision there by Mr. Alexander.
So what I didn't like about that was he faked the huck and then he threw the huck.
Yeah, that's
you know what
true.
I mean? So he fakes the huck and the defender's like, oh, there, it's coming. And then he throws it, so the defender's going to be pretty ready for it. Also, it was very short and right to our guy.
Yeah. Big swing across the field. Its side-to-side motion is just deadly. That's what we love. We love that, and that's because that's what happens when you move the disc across the field. It's so much more difficult to play defense.
The score really got out of hand in this third quarter.
Yeah.
It went from a very tight game.
It kind of melted down here. What was it, 14-11 at half? 13-11 at half?
Is that right? 8 straight and a half?
Or maybe it was 13-10.
Oh.
No, it was either 13-10 or 14-10
Yeah.
at half.
Oh.
And those are just coming off. Whoa.
That's what I'm talking about. Square up with the other side. So this is a funny one. For years on D, I played with Martinez.
Yeah.
On every single point. I would play on the D line on the rush with Martinez. And when I got the disc, I just looked for him. And just every now and then I get to play on his line again, and it's the same thing. A lot of hammers, that time just a huck there. There's an advantage in just knowing that you're looking for one particular person. You're able to put some throws that you would never put.
And for the cutter, knowing that when you have the disc, that it could come to you at any moment. So when you make any sort of aggressive move, when you know that it could very well be coming, it's a pretty deadly thing. It's
sort of the difference between. So if you're new to a team, you sort of are going to get your looks if you make cuts within the system.
Yeah.
Because when a handler gets a disc, they're looking for cuts within a system. But when you're looking for an individual, you can make cuts that are way outside the system, and they can be very effective because you both know that they're coming. And I think that's what that one was.
Definitely. Well, also anybody who watched our semifinals from last year in San Jose knows
that one looked like a better one. See, he didn't put the touch on it, just went out and threw it.
Oh,
nice catch. What happened in the semis?
Or you really like those cross the entire field swings,
right?
Out of nowhere. So that was almost a turnover on the end zone line.
Good huck though, and really good catch. And they broke the streak of getting broken.
So now you can see what I did there, which Sachin regularly criticizes me for, is allowing the disc to touch the ground first before I whack it down and then pick it up. Maybe I lose about a half a second on him, but it also makes it so that I never drop the disc on the pole. So, suck it.
Sachin did drop it. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was at 150, so we can go back later.
So double team. There we go. So they go way back, and actually that's great. They go back and they throw it right back. Although good for us too, though. Their play gets shut down.
Yeah.
They get good momentum, but their play was shut down, and then they threw it away. So here we go.
Another vertical stack here. Nice cut there by Brenton Tang.
So one step now, he should be looking to go around, it looks like.
And we definitely would have liked to have continued around, but that was a good D on the mark there to corral that, so that wasn't going to be easy.
Nice backhand from Remy. Will pointing now where he's throwing.
Yeah.
And I guess I wonder if that's how he plays, or if it's just he's obviously new to the team and getting adjusted to people. The throwing one makes a bit more sense to me that you point where you're gonna throw
Yeah.
because it's like I have this.
Right.
The catching one,
It's like I can see that you're running there.
I'm gonna run. You can see where I'm going, and I'm gonna keep going that way. It's a bit funny. Maybe if it's a deep.
Maybe
but,
if he was pointing the other way.
Yeah.
Because he's
just so you know, I'm going back.
Fake. Yeah. Then that's legit.
I don't know.
Oh, good, pretty good D there by Jackie.
You see Derek here, same thing. He squared up for the break side, because he can.
That's a good master strategy there.
But because he's threatening the break side, the defender has to be there, and then he's able to go and take it open side. I like that. Well, give and go. So what they're doing right now is they're turning their backward dumps, hitting upfield. So they're going backwards and actually gaining yards on it each time.
So I think that was a contact on the mark there on that double team. Generally speaking, those double teams in the middle of the field, I don't like.
There's actually a lot of contact calls on the double teams.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder. I guess you'd put it on because you're in a bad spot. So maybe that's why you're marking very aggressively, but I don't know. It seems like if you put the double team on, you don't want to foul them.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Just some forward walking into the middle.
I think Keelan fell on that. Or, no.
Martinez.
Great throw from Martinez.
Sweet throw.
And then I'd say maybe, looks like a perfect one. Kind of sad.
It looked like he actually got bumped a little from behind while he was running, which doesn't seem like it would affect him, but if he has to change directions, which I think he probably did have to at the end there, being bumped with his momentum going forward would stop him from changing directions would be pretty hard.
So this one's funny for me because there's only 4 seconds left. So actually the throw made a lot of sense and it went out. But when I put it up, I had no idea. I thought we were in the middle of the quarter, and I just put out what I thought was a perfect one. And then I remember like it turned and I was like, oh shoot, I put too much on it. And then I looked at the clock and there was 4 seconds, and I remember just thinking, nice. Everyone's gonna look and think, that was a good shot. It's a good thing you put it up, and it didn't work, but it was like the right thing to do. So don't tell anyone.
All right. Do you find the game to be more physical in the AUDL or in club? I wouldn't say that one is generally more physical than the other. I would say it's different teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact
play
same.
differently. If we're playing against this team, whether it's in AUDL or it's in club, like it can be way physical, and if we're playing a different team, it can be completely non-physical.
Like Double Wide's a very physical team.
Yeah.
I'd say they are more physical than I've had an AUDL team play.
Definitely.
Although I remember the very first game we played against Philadelphia or something in the first year, and they were really physical. They were so crazy physical, as if they were just like figuring out what to do. But then, so I think the league maybe is because we were like complained. It was like
they actually had a thing where they would regularly grab the disc while it was in your hands. Where after you would catch the disc, on a cut or whatever, you catch it, and the first thing that they would do is run up and whack the disc. Yeah. While it was still in your hands, and it was this weird thing where I don't know, the referees weren't calling it, and that was just the way that they played. But it seemed like a coaching directive.
It did, but then it never happened again, and I really think that the league stopped them from doing that. Yeah. I think the league was like, guys, we're doing refs here. It's not about trying to push the limits, which I know is a common thing people are worried about or there. And I think if the league is on top of it, they can stop that and it'll be all right.
Yeah.
This is where it's good having a big guy like Isaiah. I put a lot of these floaty ones to Isaiah, and he just goes and gets them. And then he puts a nice catch by Sachin.
Sick catch.
And then Trevor Safal.
And those contacts usually go against the defense, even though I think the handler usually initiates the contact. Yeah, that's an interesting thing, though, because I agree. I think that a contact foul should only really occur when someone is in a throwing motion. I find a lot of times guys are just pivoting around and kind of putting their hands into the defenders, and they'll get contact calls like that. But unless somebody's actually trying to throw it,
yeah. But then on the other
trying
hand,
to pivot.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they don't let you pivot,
Totally,
then
if
you
trying
can't
to pivot,
get into a throwing motion.
I mean, when people are kind of waving the disc around, whacking into people's hands with the disc, I find those are really chintzy fouls.
Or the ones where they just throw your hand, where you just throw your hand into the mark, just to get the call. I mean, that's a tough one. That whole offensive versus defensive foul in all sports seems like it's such a tough one. Like you see that in charges in basketball all the time, and you're like, is that a charge or was he there and everything? And
sometimes guys will just lower their shoulder and barrel into a guy, but because his foot was off the ground, it's like, oh, that's a blocking foul. When it's like he absolutely demolished.
Carroll looked tired there, but
they
did it. So here's they did a good job here. So the front guy goes in front and bodies Carroll a little bit, like not hits, but gets position, which lets the back guy run up and jump unobstructed to try to go for that D. I think if you're watching, that is the obviously if you're watching, that is the right way to do it. You have one person go in front, try to make it so that your offense can't jump, and then you have the guy in the back go in alone and get a very strong jump. And what happened there is everyone went up too early, which is what the defense wants, and that's a D.
And that's another one where, you got Carl coming off the back there helping out, and whose guy was Carl on? I don't know. But that's another one where it's like having that extra guy trailing, you can easily catch that for a score. But because, the disc goes up and whoever it's not to stops running and just watches to see what happens, we don't get that score. Whereas Carl, on that help D, really goes and makes that play and makes it so that they get the disc back. Nice cut there by Andy. Yeah, see, I mean, Andy is doing a pretty good job this game. I mean, he's pretty sick.
Oh, Derek's unhappy.
Not liking what he sees. He really wanted to throw that hook.
Nice move from Derek.
See?
Put that up. And again, Derek, put it up. Put it up and out.
Just thrown to the middle by Ellis there.
And there we go, right down the break side. One more.
This is really good movement.
We got Ellis here.
Jackie.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
guys.
I remember that.
Oh, he doesn't even touch it.
He's just milking it. Wait, let's do it one more time. That was good.
Okay. I was actually going to say that was like our best offense from the D-line this whole time. And then Jackie. This better be we're subbing him out?
Yeah. He's out.
Oh, actually.
Well, yeah, because they called an injury, I think.
Oh, and then what else do you do but take Jackie off in that position? I can't remember. Is he off the team now?
I think we might have eliminated him from the team, which is good. Actually, I think he might have quit himself.
Oh, yeah, that might have been what it was.
Saved us the trouble. The throw was okay.
Maybe it was, but to say 50% blame is a bit outrageous to me.
I would say 10% of the blame. I mean, there was nobody on him. Ugh. See, Ottawa, man, they were so in this game, and they could totally beat themselves here, I think.
I think they went to the Hucks too much.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to watch a game and just make comments, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Week 1 update.
Make some noise.
Got our offense on the field here. Nice weird throw there by Link.
Yeah. And then just not a good one there.
Nice try though, Link. Do you ease on the pedal when the opponent is far behind? No, we don't.
Well, the only thing I would say is that
We might roll lines.
the lines may be different.
Yeah.
It's like the people on the field, I would say no. But the way that we'll ease is that you might put people on who don't get as many minutes, or we might do strategies that aren't as refined as our other strategies. But if you're on the field and you're not trying hard, then you'll just be taken off for someone who is, and that's not even necessarily.
That's disrespectful too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to try here.
I do the opposite. I constantly try to pretend like I'm not trying.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my game is just pretending that I'm not trying.
Yeah, like overall, as far as the team goes, we don't take our foot off the gas. Me, I love to roast.
No, but even in the biggest game or whatever, I try to pretend like I'm not trying.
Right.
That's an important part of Ultimate in general. Yeah, like what? See, I get the disc. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Oh, that was. You definitely looked like you were trying there.
Look at now though, I'm not. So, come on, you take him.
Point.
Yeah, you take that guy.
Somebody else get this guy. He scores. Oh,
I'm gonna say that they did not score it,
but
but they're not done yet. They're gonna get the disc back once.
I'm pretty sure I turned this over.
Oh yeah, this was brutal.
But then I get it back.
We're gonna watch Adrian here. Let's see how many times he should have just thrown the disc to an open guy. I'd say good seal out by me. Oh, huge. Oh, okay. No, yeah, okay.
So
stall down.
Stall down. Okay, can we go back?
I've done this in the past, and it is a stall down.
No, Oh, you watched this already?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then.
The disc is in now at 47. 3, 2, 1.
Are you kidding me?
Pretty close.
Are you kidding me? That's no way. No way. That was off.
Still wholly unnecessary. Did you? What I was much more open than you.
You were way more
than
open
you. Like
than I just wasn't looking.
But what was your memory of that?
I remember like looking at you coming into the break lane, and I remember thinking like, oh, like I'm gonna throw it there, and then you kind of came back for the dump, and I still was looking in the break lane where I should have just stayed looking at you.
Or if you squared up. If you squared up, you wouldn't have.
Well, that's what I mean. I was still looking upfield where I should have.
But you know what? You get 1D, and then everything's forgiven.
And who even remembers what happened?
I fully remember that play though.
I don't. No, I don't.
And then as we were all doing this game, we were just sending it out to Army.
Because why not?
And Army to Lloyd. That's got to be demoralizing. They had the disc on our goal line for 3 different attempts.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And they weren't able to put it in.
Right, so I would say we got about 10 minutes left in this game here.
Before the Raptors start Game 7. So what do they got? Oh, they switched up to horizontal here. Or maybe split. I can't see the cutters, but
looks like
we got the double still.
Oh.
Good double from us. They didn't get a line. And I do like, though, that they go back and then they throw it really quick up.
Well, I find that the double is kind of more effective when they have more hammers back almost.
Great movement here.
Because then that means you also have another defender back to help out on the reset.
Yeah, there is a motor in his brace.
Yeah. But don't tell anybody.
Well, no, that's legal. We looked at the rules.
Yeah, it's legal, but it's frowned upon, so don't spread that around. Nice tee there by Rusty. Just getting his body in the way there on that up the line.
I was going to say they better go break here, and they do for a goal. I think we'll be actually perfect on timing here.
Yeah.
So we got a horizontal here. And you know what? I don't know what play we're doing, but their double team again really stopped it.
And that's good
This
job by
time a foul.
Sachin there, getting up on the same plane
Yeah.
or even upfield of Thompson, so that
And then
to
just
get those yards.
tap in Huck. Goal.
It was me going deep there. That's a rarity.
How did that feel?
Felt pretty good. Even went up with my left hand for it. That felt good too. Well, I try to do that actually a lot in practice. Is go up with my left hand, and practice jumping off my right foot because it's something that I don't do all that often. It doesn't feel very natural. So actually practice doing that quite a bit.
Their offense is looking a lot better now. Maybe we are letting up on the pedal.
Back in this game.
Which is they're not. The joke. It's a good joke, but they're down a lot. It's hard to come back from like a 3-point lead, let alone.
Yeah, sure.
That's a good just fake out jump. I remember when I jumped, I was like, that's too early, but I was kind of a seal out.
Yeah. Army gets another score here. He had like 8 goals this game or something crazy like that.
Yeah, but it's sweet.
It's pretty good.
All right, what do they got here? Looks like horizontal. Not sure what Derek's doing there, but I actually do like it a lot.
He's good. I think he was faking a timeout.
He was ready to throw a flick, but there was no flick. Luck.
I don't know what's going on with that defense right now, but the Hucks have...
And then just an easy one for me. That's 3 easy ones in a row. Which I'm pretty stoked because I remember getting very bored in the third quarter because on the offense we weren't getting in very much.
Yeah. Well, it just meant that I ended up playing a bunch of defense. It sucks not having the disc, having to work to get it. It's cut there by Lloyd. See, you can see how Link's looking for it. We get that pass off the sideline. That's what we always look to do, is just keep it going. And I don't know what happened there on the cuts, but nobody was going for him, which was too bad.
Perhaps you can teach the Raptors some offensive movement. Yeah. Holy.
If Dwayne wants to give us a call.
Yeah, maybe we'll live stream the Raptors and simply yell at the screen because I would be. Oh, look at that high pick and roll. Oh, look at Biombo wide open. They don't pass it. Why would you bring that up?
Yeah.
Now we're
demoralized.
Yeah, but this